Hey folks, welcome back to the Dormouse's desk. I was cleaning a pen earlier today and I had an idea and I thought I would share it with you. Pen cleaning, cartridge pens can be annoying. When you have a converter, you can twist the converter to pull water up into the converter and through the feed, and then, push it back out and like repeat the process, and forever and ever and ever until you get clear water throughout the pen. But you can't do that with a cartridge. Typically I don't use cartridges just for that reason, really. But this is the pen that I've been inking with Platinum's Chokoro, and the typical Sailor cartridge or cartridge converter is it doesn't hold enough ink, and I tend to have to constantly refill it. So I went with the cartridge, but cleaning it, how do you clean this pen? You can try a bulb syringe, but the opening for the cartridge is pretty wide and water spurts out. It's wider than the opening. Here, I have one. So if you sort of look at, if that will focus, or no, that's the back of it. Okay. The opening for the bulb syringe is smaller than the opening for the cartridge, and so it doesn't fit properly over the little nubbin in the back of the feed. And so thinking about this and being annoyed by it, I'm just like, well, I can't squeeze the cartridge, but what can I squeeze? And I have these pipettes everywhere. I use them for dishing out ink into ink samples when I'm sharing ink samples. They're a lot cheaper than buying syringes. Syringes are convenient and they're easy to clean, but they're a lot more expensive. These are super cheap. And so as I was playing around with that, I was just like, why don't I just cut the tip off of the pipette to around the same size as the cartridge, and that way I can slip it just right over the little nib in the back of the feed, and I can pull water in and I can flush it back out. And that did not look like it was in focus at all. Or you can just grab water into the pipette, put it into the back of the feed, and then push the water through. So that's the idea. I've only done it with this one, and I have two more pens here. Pilot has a proprietary cartridge converter, I guess, diameter. And then, Sailor has their own as well. And then I grabbed a Kaweco because I think a lot of us like using the Kaweco cartridges, but I never do because of this reason. So let's do this with the Pilot Prera, mostly because it's clear, easy to see. So I'm going to take the back off. I'm going to pull out the converter. And you have options when it comes to pipettes. I'm sure they come in a million different sizes. These are very flexible plastic, so they're very inexpensive. They're meant to be disposable, but what better use? So anyway, the thicker ones here are 3 milliliters. The thinner ones look like 1 milliliter. But I want to push as much water through the feed as possible, so I'm going to grab the 3 milliliter and a pair of scissors. And so I just sort of want to eyeball, and don't take off, I mean, they're cheap, so I mean, if you ruin one, what's the big deal? I'm just cutting it down until I feel like the diameter of the pipette sort of matches. So that's pretty close, and you can test. This actually goes around. Pilot's so so weird with this nub. It goes around the nub, but I don't think it's quite wide enough to get all the way down past it. So I'm going to cut a little bit more. Just sort of trial and error until you get to the size that you're looking for. Because this is such pliable plastic, you can probably force it down more. It's stretchy. There's some give there. Yeah, so that's what we want. You can hear the suction going on in there. So you can grab some water into the pipette. You can push it down over the nub. And there we have it. There's water being forced through the nib and feed. Cool. So let's do it again. Now we have a sailor one. We have a pilot one. I'll probably go back and label these later on. Now that we know that we're successful, we can do this. We've proven it twice. Let's do it again with the Kaweco. This one has a much smaller cartridge diameter. So I'm just going to try to put it on immediately because this is also a very small diameter. Ooh, and that goes on pretty perfectly. So you can sort of hear the air being pushed through there. I'm going to try it. Oh, I did that completely off camera. Yeah, so you can draw in water and you can expel water. You don't even have to cut this one. So I guess pens that accept international cartridges or Kawecos, you don't even have to adjust the pipette. You can just shove it right on that little end nib, and now you have a very easy way to clean your pen. So there. That is literally all I had to show you today. I know that Ian Schoen makes, I feel like he probably 3D prints what is essentially a cartridge that is attached to a syringe. But I think he's selling them for like $10 a piece, and I appreciate the engineering and everything that goes along with it. But that's a little bit outside of my my price range if you have to buy one for every type of pen that you have. If you only owned sailors or you only owned pilots, then that's probably more accessible to you. Like, that feels worth it. To me, this seemed like an idea that might work, and it did. And so now I don't feel the desire to necessarily purchase Ian's little contraption, because now I have something that works perfectly well. So anyway, my apologies to Ian. It's a really fantastic idea. This, though, if you already have pipettes, it seems worthwhile to try this, because it might work for you. Anyway, have happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you hopefully soon with my currently inked. Alright, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Have you tried something like this? Let me know down in the comments below. Bye.